Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva svargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्या चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितुव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य पापयोनयः प्रियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः ते यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना मम भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Sloka number 24. I am indeed the enjoyer and also the Lord of all yajnas. I am the Bhokta and Prabhu. They do not know me in reality, hence they fall. Is referring to those people who have that Shraddha, but practicing avidya, contrary to the ordinance. Difficult for you to remember, but just a reference I'm saying. He picks it up the same idea in the 17th chapter, Arjuna. Again, the discussion happens with reference to these people. So, says those who practice, they do not know me in reality. They're ignorant. Ignorant with reference to what? The ignorance is they don't understand that I am the real Lord and I am the enjoyer, which means I am the Karta and I am the Bhokta. And we have the notion that we are the Kartas and we are the Bhoktas. This is our understanding. Our understanding is I do, I enjoy. I work, I earn, I enjoy. Right? This is our understanding. He says that is ignorance. So what we call as knowledge, he calls that as ignorance. That's where there is a fight always. There is a tussle between the Shastras and us. Who is correct? We go on saying we are correct. They go on saying they are correct. No meeting point. In a setup like this, you will say, yeah, correct, correct, and all that. Once we remove the setup, I am Karta, I am Bhokta. In the classroom, we will say, what? No, sir. He is the enjoyer. Of all yajnas means action. Don't take it literally to be, the people take these words in the literal sense of it. It's not the literal sense. It is all actions. Because according to these people, for you to be qualifying that you are doing something is only when you perform action. See, sacrificial actions. Actions means sacrificial action. Non-sacrificial actions is not treated as action. Otherwise, what is it if you ask? You have to tell them. They don't consider it. It's not there. See, so here, I am the Lord of all yajnas. All yajnas means traditional way of understanding is all this Shraudha yajnas and Smarta yajnas. Shraudha yajnas means the yajnas which are referred in the Vedas, Vedic rituals. Smarta karmas means the rituals referred in the Smritis. So he says, I am the enjoyer and also this. Without realizing what happens to those people, they fall. They fall from, you can fall from where? From wherever you are, you will fall. Where are they? Where are these people? Where are they? Nishkama Bhaktas he referred first. Then he came to Sakama. In the Sakama Bhaktas, he is referring to a particular group of people. Who are they? They have Shraddha, but their practices were all avidhi, not as per the injunctions. They fall. They fall from where? They fall from wherever they are. Where are they? You can lose what? What you have only you can lose. I cannot say, I lost my Rolls Royce yesterday. Imagine, suddenly I come and tell you, yesterday I lost my Rolls Royce. I can say I lost my wristwatch. Okay, possible. Suddenly if I say, I lost my Rolex. Say, have a cup of coffee, you say. And get up. Polite way of telling. Have a cup of coffee. You can lose only what you have. You can fall only from where you are. What these people have with them? Shraddha. They will lose that Shraddha. That's what he says. You do with so much of enthusiasm, and finally what will happen? You lose the very enthusiasm to do. Then what was driving your action? Isn't it so interesting to see our life? Our life is exactly this. Just picturizing the life. You fall. Now we don't understand, you fall. Theoretically, we will say, you fall. You fall from what? You fall from that opportunity to gain moksha, gain liberation. That's okay. That's not a big problem. You lose so much. It's not a big issue for you. You lose whatever you are having with you. What a tragedy that is. You are having only one possibility. That possibility is what? Is that Shraddha, that sincerity. Shraddha in the sense not in the complete sense of Shraddha. Remember, that's not what is referred here. That preliminary stage of Shraddha you have. Is that genuinity is there. That's exactly what happened to previous generation. Previous generation believed to be following so many things. Right? But were they able to translate that, transfer that to the next generation? Colossal failure. All over the world. I'm not saying only in India. All over the world. Special guest. Special guest now. So much of effort you put in to pick up something. What drives you to put in that effort is a fundamental belief, correct? And you put in that effort means what should be happening to that belief? It should grow, it should get deeper, it should get stronger, strengthened. Imagine you work so much and it's like I train more and more and more, and my very passion for the game is dead. At the cost of the passion for that game, I go for training, I play the match. what will happen? Example, given many a times, example for this. Complete. Without complete. He came in double century. Next one, double century. Double century. I think even now he would be having more double centuries than Tendulkar. Right? But there is Kambli, there is Dravid. Agarkar. See, Ajit Agarkar was not treated as some celebrated personality and all that. Okay, Rahul Dravid is a different league. Okay, you don't have to compare, those people. You will say that those people are of different types. Okay. What about that Murli Karthik? See, Murli Karthik is even today is in touch with the game, at least as a commentator. He's a leg spinner. Leg spinner, no, yes. Shivaram Krishnan. Shivaram Krishnan was a umpire, no? He was umpiring or another one. Who's that? Venkatraghavan. He became an umpire, isn't it?
Yeah, he became an umpire.
He became an umpire. He was playing, retired, became an umpire. Playing, retired, he starts a training. Playing, retired, umpiring. They're still in touch with sports. Kapil Dev, playing, retired, took to golf. See, he's still a sportsman. Even today, he is a sportsman. Only thing is what? He changed the sport. That's about it. See, that passion in those people with reference to that particular dimension should it increase or it should die? It should increase with your effort. And these people practice. They go to temples, they do the devotion, they do the yajnas, they do the rituals. All that is done. Consequence is what? They lose the very Shraddha. What a tragedy. Can there be anything worse than that? That is why we are not able to. The proof of that, if you ask me, the proof is you are not able to inspire the next generation. Colossal failure. Why? Your actions are not inspiring to them. Your personality is not inspiring to them. Why? I'm not saying they also do exactly what you are doing. See, some basic things should be there. It's so interesting to see that. From that, when you read this verse, it is amazing. See, it says, they do not know me in reality, and therefore, hence they fall. Fall from very Shraddha they had. They lose that very Shraddha. If you lose that very Shraddha, where are you then? Out. You have gone into, you are not even in the category of Sakama Bhaktas. Then where are you? Abhaktas. Of course, you are losing a great opportunity to evolve yourself into a position of a Nishkama Bhakta and merge with the self. That is a different thing. Right? Like many a times you will say, sir, there may not be profit, but at least my money is safe now. Like people put money in the bank and keep it, FD. Ask them, where are you keeping it in the bank, FD? There's no big, profit in that, but money is safe, no? Capital is safe, right? That's all. This is their argument. Now here he says that capital itself will go away. Only the capital will die. Then where are you now? Pauper. Which means you have not understood the value of that Shraddha. The one who understands the value of Shraddha will not want to lose it. Therefore, what you should do? You can have that sincerity, but your effort has to be in alignment with what? Savidhi Purvak, not Avidhi Purvak. In alignment with that Vidhi, in alignment with what the Shastras are saying. Along with that, you have to work. Not on your own, you decide things. Like one person was telling me, my mother told me, you don't have to do all these things. I said, who is your mother to decide? Recently, one fellow called that, my mother passed away and she told, you don't worry about all those things. I said, who is she to, decide? Is she the authority? Huh? Who is authority? Huh? Who has to decide? She has no jurisdiction. As though she has studied, she has worked, she has researched, and she has grown to such an extent that she is a Rishi now. Therefore, what she says becomes a rule. Yes. Those things are not necessary. I say, who is she? He's doing, no, that's enough. You don't have to do. I said, when you are slogging, when you are striving in a particular field, the inspiration should get more and more. It should get deeper and deeper. If you are losing the very inspiration, means something wrong. And you lose that very foundation, which is the belief. The proof of that is what we are seeing right now happening around us. And my mother was very, very ritualistic, sir. My mother was very sincere. Every day she was doing puja. Correct. But next generation, are they doing it? They are not doing it. Why they are not doing it? And we say distractions are there. We were not like that. We were all very obedient. Who says? 70-year-old fellow says, with the full guarantee that no one is there going to verify. And if he asks his mother, who is 92, he is already looking at who are you? Alzheimer's, no? Now to her, you can't go and ask, who is that now? You won't even remember. Therefore, they say what? You are very obedient. You are such a good child. You are forgotten. That's about it. See, you can't blame the next generation. Why you can't blame them is because the practices that you have been doing is not to be decided based on your Shraddha. Your sincerity is not the point. Are you following it as per the rules? or you are doing it on your own. We say, no, you can't take law in your hands, isn't it? Even a policeman can only file an FIR, arrest you, and take you to the court. In the court also, who has to decide? Not the lawyer. Right? Who has to decide? The judge has to decide. There also we have grades of judges, isn't it? Ruling given by one judge can be dismissed, overruled by the other. Why? Because he is superior. He is superior. On what basis? On what basis? Because he is in that position. Full stop. It's not that he is having a better degree. All Supreme Court judges are all coming from, A++++ college only. There's nothing to do with that. They belong to that position. And anyone and everyone cannot get into that position. To get into that position, there is a procedure. Isn't it? You have to do certain things. You need certain qualifications. You need to pass certain stages. Have you gone through all that? When it comes to life, what is to be done and what is not to be done, do you have any clue? When it comes to religion, what amount of investigation you have done? Huh? What is the study you have done? Random, you can't pick up something and come to conclusions. That's what he says. Those who practice that, aviddhipurvakam, they lose it. Yes.
So this vidhi, now knowledge, the knowledge is universal. Is vidhi also universal?
No, vidhi is not universal.
So how do we know what applies to us? I mean, for us it's fine.
It's like asking, is medicine universal or not? Medicine universal or not? Engineering universal or not? Civil engineering universal or not?
Those principles will apply everywhere, anywhere.
But then why every house is different?
Using the principle, you build different houses.
Based on
Civil engineering.
civil engineer, depends upon the architect, also depends upon what you like, what you can afford, isn't it? Same thing here also. If you ask, sir, is vidhi universal? Yes. Parallelly, answer is no. When you go to the very laws of it, it is fixed. There is no change. What is a law? The law is only one. From selfish to unselfish to selfless. This is the principle. All actions can be classified only in these three categories. There is nothing more than this. Same rule. But when it comes to the way in which each one needs to adapt, function, that will vary. Now, who decides that? I am the one who has bought the land. I am the one who is going to pay the price. Therefore, put up a pillar here now. Shift the pillar from here to there. Who decides that? I am the one who paid to the architect also. Right? He is my employee. I engaged you. But then he says what? load bearing has to be here only. You cannot shift it. No, I don't like it. What will happen? He will say, build it. But I will not come for housewarming ceremony. Why? 10 people walk upstairs and dance. The whole thing will fall. One fellow jumps there, he will land at the ground floor. I will not take chance, he will say. That's exactly what happens here. Here, our problem is we do not understand the laws of engineering, nor we are willing to listen to the engineer. The structural engineer says, no, not possible. We cannot do this. He says, well, no. You tell me how it should be done. Like this, we ask advice. People we go and ask advice is what? Sir, I know it is wrong. Short term we can't do. I know we should do it, but tell me what is parihara for that? I know it is wrong. When you know it is wrong, what are you asking me then? You are asking for what then? You are asking for a way to circumvent the whole thing. Exactly like I know the pillar should not be here, it should be here, but I don't want it like this. I want it like this. Not possible. It is not possible. Now, avidhi purvakam means what? Not having that understanding. Saying it has to be done in this way means it has to be done in this way. But on what basis the architect says that, the structural engineer or the civil engineer saying that? Based on the engineering principles. Do you have any knowledge of that? You don't have any knowledge of this. When you are not having the knowledge of this, what are you supposed to do? But I'm very sincere, sir. I want the house to come out very well. The sincerity is not the point. The point is, are you adhering to the laws of engineering or not? Who knows the laws of engineering? The engineer only knows. Are you an engineer? No. I'm not an engineer. Then shut up. No. I will not keep quiet. This is avidhi purvakam. What is vidhi purvakam, sir? Vidhi purvakam means two levels. One level is called the smritis. Another level, it is called the shrutis. Is there any difference between the two? There is no difference. They are same thing. Don't think they are two different things. We will take it as, smritis to be different. No, it's not different. Smritis are nothing but the Shrutis principle expounded and given to you in the form of how you can conduct yourself. That's why I always give this example. A state is not governed by constitution. State is governed by various laws. Where is penal code in constitution? Try to locate. Land Reformation Act. Where is it in constitution? Anyone has law knowledge here? He is the best in that. In constitution, do you have that? You will not find. But income tax. Short-term gains, long-term gains. So gain. Income is income, no. No. This is a short-term gain, this is a long-term gain. The way you tax the thing coming from this source is different, that source is different. Gift tax. There is gift tax. But the source for the gift tax is what? The foundation for the penal code is what? The foundation for Land Reformation Act is what? Constitution. Can you make a connection? Which part of Constitution has evolved itself into Land Reformation Act? You're all intelligent people, no? You're all educated, right? Not illiterates. All educated. And getting educated also. Still studying, no? At least one fellow. What education you are getting then? You don't live life based on Constitution. You transact with what? With various laws only. So Vidhi means what? Laws, not Constitution. Same way, here Vidhi means what? The Shruti. Sorry, Smritis. Not the Shrutis. Because Shruti is the Constitution. But from where the Smritis have been evolved, how Smritis came out, what is the source of that Smriti? Shruti is the source. Exactly like all these acts, various laws governing evolved from the source for all that is Constitution. Only difference is what? Here, Constitution itself can be amended. In this, Constitution cannot be amended. That's all. Amendments are not possible. Here, that is only difference. The limitation of the example is this. The limitation of this comparison is, in our case, how many amendments had happened for Constitution itself? Which means what? Constitution is not a fixed one. Here, Shruti is fixed. What is Shruti, sir? There are only three: Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Full stop. There is no fourth guna you can add in that. There is no possibility. Only three. There is only body, mind, intellect. Fixed. You can't amend. There is only selfish, unselfish, selfless action possible. There is no possibility of amendments here. But for you to translate it directly into life is not going to be easy task. So what to do? See, everyone cannot become a constitution expert. Even amongst lawyers, everyone is not a constitution expert. Every lawyer knows constitution. But there are only few who take to the constitutional experts. Everyone is not. Same way here, there are few people who have taken it up. And then gave out to us. This is the law. Like you are saying, a very interesting one. Lawyer notice has come. So lawyer notice was said, first, there is no such thing called lawyer notice. Lawyer can write a letter, which he will write a letter to anyone. Correct, lawyer. The moment you get a letter from lawyer, you get panic, isn't it? I say, why should you reply? A court can issue a notice. You are supposed to reply to you are obligated to reply to the notice given by the court. Lawyer sends a letter, there's no necessity for you to reply. There's a difference, no? This itself people don't understand. You see, forget about all that. This itself we are not able to connect. You say, you. As soon as a letter comes from the lawyer, we think, you. Now, what is there? Man, relax. Someone has to educate us on that. If we are not educated, we can't distinguish between the two. Can a lawyer send a notice? Lawyer can send a letter. That's a letter he sends. He's not sending a notice. Court will send a notice to which you are supposed to. Makes a world of difference, isn't it? Just the word change, the way you read that is very different, isn't it? Lawyer, I say, so what? So, here itself we don't understand many things. Except him. I assume all of you pay tax, income tax. Huh? How many of you file the returns directly? Nobody. Every one of you consult a chartered accountant. Why? The government says all that you have to do is what? Log in, feed the information, it will compound. It's all fixed already. At least in those days, not. Now it is all fixed. All that you have to do is what? Just log in, upload the information, it will compound the whole thing and tell you this is the tax you have to pay the tax, get out. You don't require a chartered accountant. You say, no. Go to the chart. Why? You don't know. There are very many terms, very many things which is there which you don't understand. Passport application you don't understand. Driving license application you don't understand. Insurance policy that you take you don't understand. You need someone to tell you who has that knowledge. When it comes to the spiritual life of dimension of religion, are you the authority? Then who's the authority? There are two fellows, constitutional experts and lawyers. Now, every one of us, as citizens, none of us will file case on constitutional discussions, isn't it? All our problems will be pertaining to what? Can be resolved what? Our matters can be resolved using the particular law. You don't have the constitutional complexities. Vidhi means what now? Law. Smriti is the authority. Shruti is not the authority. That is why first answer I gave is not Shruti. Here it means Smriti first. The one who is bypassing the laws can never be falling in line with the constitution. Isn't it? The one who transgresses the laws, cuts across, undercuts the laws, can never be falling in tune with the constitution. Impossible. But the one who is following the law doesn't mean you understand constitution. It's not necessary. Or an alignment doesn't mean that. That's what Shruti is and Smriti is. You follow the Smriti, which will qualify you, mature you, or purify you to understand the Shruti. You cannot go to Shruti directly because Shruti matters has got nothing to do with your life. The discussions that is there in the Shruti is not of your problem. It's nothing to do with you. Actually. That's why you can't connect. There's no relationship. If at all you relate when you are in trouble. You see, when you have a problem, you relate. That's not relationship. That is what? Transaction. You see, relationship means what? In world, is my relative means what? Is my friend means what? Because today we have a very, I say paithyam, madness means this. There's a debate goes on, is friends important in life or relatives important? So relatives are not problems, sir. Friends are better. I say that same fellow is a friend to somebody, relative to somebody. Is there a peculiar clan in Homo sapiens? There is a peculiar group called friends, relatively to them. Rest are all, we have a clear division, North Indian, South Indian. There is a clear division, North Indian, South Indian. Generally, South Indian means only from Madras. That also they don't consider from any other city. Madrasi, You say, I'm from Bangalore. You say, Madras, huh? I have a hearing problem. I'm coming from Bangalore. When you go to North only, you will understand. How will you not understand? You go to US. There, what are you then? Asian. They'll say, all Asians. Bangladeshi, They look at you and ask, are you from Bangladesh? They say, no, I'm from, Bangalore. Bangalore? What is it? He can't understand. He says everyone. Is there a thing? It's the same fellow. If something wrong with him as a relative, what you need to understand is, definitely there is something wrong with him as a friend also. Disease is disease, no. You can't say, I will have corona in the house, but when I come outside, corona will disappear. And then again I come into the house, corona will come again. Who are you trying to cheat? If you are infected, means you are infected. You are not infected, means you are not infected. If relatives are all problem, means then all those relatives will be a problem when they become friends also. If all friends are good, means then when he is a relative also, he will be good. I can't understand. How is it possible that here good, there bad? Weird ones. In the world, when you have relationship, you relate to people means what? You relate means what? That is business. You call your child when do you call a plumber? Something goes wrong with the plumbing. When you have a fight with your husband, you don't call your plumber. You call a lawyer. Ideally speaking, first you call ambulance. Right? Then call a lawyer. You're beaten left, right, center. Call the doctor first and then lawyer. Or lawyer first and then doctor. You call a plumber, you don't call an electrician. That's transaction. Relative relationship means fundamental rule is non-transactional. The moment you bring transactions into it, relationship is gone. You can never have both together. The moment you bring transactions into friendship, friendship is gone. I see this weird now. All of us went to hotel. I said, okay, who paid? All of us paid. I said, how? We got the bill. We found out you had what? Masala dosa. Masala dosa, 120. Pay 120. How much what you got? I had only coffee here. 40 rupees. Pay 40. This one. And then one fellow says, you don't worry, man, I'll pay. All you guys Google pay me. He is so, very good friend is. Because he offered to pay. I can't understand what is, going on. Don't go. See? It was my rule. If you want me to bunk college and come for a movie, bus ticket you don't have to, because we had pass. College students, we had pass, all over. So we had free. Right? Bus ticket you don't have to. Movie tickets and snacks. If you guys are paying, I'll come for a movie. Or else, I'm not coming. Okay, let's go for a hotel. So tea, you go to canteen. So I'll come with you. Masala vada tea is who's going to pay? Any one fellow pays. Full stop. Now the another agreement. What is it? Yesterday I paid, today you pay. You pay. You pay. Transaction. And then you say friend. Not friend. Transactions. Transactions. Relationship means you just go there. You just visit them. You just meet them for no reason. Why have you come? Vacation, where else to go? Vacation, where else to go? You go to relative's place. That is relationship, non-transaction. Transactions based means business. The rules for this is different, the rules for that is different. Who decides that? The very relationship decides. You see, the very transaction decides. You don't decide. That is Vidhi. It's called Vidhi. Avidhi means you decide on your own. You don't take into consideration what the Smriti says. In this context, if you ask me, sir, what about Jews? What about Buddhists? What about Jains? I don't know. You got to ask them. You see, but there also they have Shruti separate, Smriti separate. Shruti is fixed. Fixed not only for Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Jainism, Christianity, any religion for that matter. In all that, the Shruti part is fixed. There is no change in that. Wherever you go, there is only 3 types of action. Whether you are a Christian, we are, Roman Catholic, or you are Pentecostal. Seventh-day Adventist. You can be anyone. Doesn't make any difference. You are what? Only three actions you can do. Selfish, unselfish, selfless. This is Constitution. Same for all laws. Constitution is one. But the application of penal code is totally different from the application of income tax. Income tax is different. Land Reformation Act is different. That is a different act. This is a different act. Isn't it? Each act is different, each law is different. Now, depending upon your scenario, you take it up. You happen to be born in the system of Hindu, you follow Hindu. You happen to be born in the system of Christianity, you follow Christianity. You happen to be born to be fallen into the category of Jainism, follow Jainism. Right? That is called Vidhi. Right? Now today we have what? No, sir. We belong to Constitution. Right? We are studying Vedanta. Right? We are studying Vedanta, therefore we are. Just because you are reading Constitution book in front of you doesn't make you Constitution expert, isn't it? Imagine a fellow carries. I used to do that just to impress people, you know. You go this. You had this American library free, British library, American library free in Chennai. Or if you have college ID, you can go and take, and they allow you to take 2 books. So a fat book I take. Take the fat book, you know, some author, some foreign author. We don't even understand what the text is, what is in the book. Simply take the book and carry in the bus. Just to impress people, you know. And then, you know, it's a fashion we have in Chennai. I don't see that in Bangalore. This is a fashion there in Chennai. You know, we give our bags to the, you know, to people sitting there. To the city, you know, they give. They do it here. Do that also. Good idea. No, they give the bag to them. So when you give the bag, you know, they check. Oh, just to get the and then we keep changing that, you know. Every 2 weeks we go, give that and then the next book. I said, yeah, of course. They're all, you know. In those days, today if you nerd Allah is considered as, you know, reject case. Don't be a nerd today. In those days, nerds means they are all, you know, they are hot cakes. Indigala nerd anna padayadu. What do you call that in English? Yesterday's rice? You know, no. They keep it in the rice and have next day. Or is there any word in English for that? Better things they don't have. What do you call that in Kannada? Tangalu. Tangalu. Rice. Reject that. Sesham. Call that. Sanskrit. Sesham. Paste. Take the book. Just because you are holding Constitution doesn't mean you are a Constitution expert. Just because you are studying Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean you are a Gita exponent. In fact, just because you are speaking on Gita also doesn't make you a Gita exponent, please. Then who is the authority? Following whatever the authority says is called Vidhi Purvakam. Who is the authorities? The Smritis were the authorities. Those rishis who gave out the Smriti is the authority. That you have to follow. Adana Vidhi. These people, what they're doing? Exactly opposite. They follow. And today you can see the form. 25.
Yanti devam prata deva,
Vedam yanti pitruvrata, yanti bhutecha, yanti madhyajino imam, yanti deva prata deva, vedam yanti pitruvrata, yanti bhutecha, madhyajino imam. Those who worship the devas, senses, go to devas. The worshippers of ancestors go to ancestors. The worshippers of the elements go to elements. Those who worship me come to me. Now, 23, 24, 25. He's concluding that idea here. 23, he says they had that Shraddha, but they practice avidhi. Consequence of that is, why they do it? Because of ignorance, as a result of which they lose the very Shraddha. But then there is one thing incomplete there. They have been doing something, no? Right? They had little Shraddha, and of course, they practice it, but the practice is not according to the injunctions. It is contrary to it. But the effort is there. For their effort, what is the result for it? What is the consequence? And what determines what would be the consequence? To which he is giving answer here. He is anticipating the question and giving answer. This is how entire Bhagavad Gita is. Entire Bhagavad Gita is every verse where he says there is a possibility for a question. Next would be answering that. Next verse or the next idea. Here you see that clearly. The very next verse, there's a question that comes. Okay, sir, that effort is there. Then what determines that effort? Because these people start worshipping one thing. Indra worshipping Indra, or worship this, worship that. Each one is doing one thing. So what is going to be determining the phala? Phala comes from where? To which he gives the answer here. What is it is going to be producing that result? Those who worship the devas go to devas. What determines there? Those who worship the ancestor go to ancestors. Those who worship the elements go to elements. Worship me, come to me. So here what you need to understand, worship. Here means within brackets, you need to understand that as seeking. Their effort is directed towards achievement of this, which means the very agenda, what is referred in Sanskrit as the sankalpa. What is your sankalpa? What is that? So, what you are going to achieve through that effort of yours is not determined by the devata, not determined by your shraddha, not determined by your effort. Then what determines the whole thing, sir? Your sankalpa determines. Your result is directly connected to that. You get it? That determination, what you strive to achieve, you get what you pursue in life. That's what he is giving here. One attains what one strives for is the topic. What is it? What is that? It is your sankalpa. That's why every ritual we start with the sankalpa. What is your agenda? For what you are performing that ritual. You see, for what you are performing it. Decide that first. That you will get. So, if you believe that I am going to pursue the devas, your pursuit of devas meaning pursuit of heaven. In heaven, what are you going to get? Uninterrupted what joy? Every time when you see movies, heaven, they show heaven. First scene is what? Huh? Dance. Tamba, Urushi, Menaka, and all will be dancing. What do you get there in heaven? You get Sukham, but what Sukham you get? You get Sukham only for your Indriyas. Indriya Sukham only is possible there. Remember, right? You don't get anything else in heaven. It is the sensory pleasures. That is why the devas were considered to be sensual fellows. We criticize it. Why it is criticized highly is because what you can get in heaven. That's why you say people go to heaven. And happy, he goes to heaven or she goes to heaven. You don't feel any happy about it. Why? What you are going to get there is if the sensual pleasures in the world is going to be of x units, in heavens you are going to get x plus units. X to the power of n. But what pleasure you are going to get is only sensual pleasures. You are not going to get anything else there. So when a person says, I am worshipping the devas, he is worshipping actually what? Sensual. That's all he is worshipping. So what he will get? He will get that. He will sacrifice. He will do all those things to get there. So what he will get finally? He will get that. So then there is another group of people who say, we are not worshipping the devas, but we are worshipping the ancestors. Ancestral worship. What is these fellows? These fellows are predominated by the nature of Rajas. In them, they will worship the ancestors. So where they will go? They will go to ancestors. That's all. Ancestor worship means what? They become very, very traditional. That's what it means. The worship of devas becomes what? More and more comforts and sense pleasures keeps increasing. When we say we have become more sophisticated, now we have grown. What growth we are talking about? Economic growth has happened in India. Ennachu? What have you achieved with that? With wealth, what you can buy? For comforts for the body. Wealth cannot give you any emotional solace or intellectual delight. spiritual saturation. Not possible. How much ever wealth you have, of course, I'm not saying, wealth has no role to play. Right? Immediately people say, wealth has no meaning. Don't say that in front of me. Okay? One fellow told me, I said, Pana, sir, nothing, sir. I said, what's your bank balance? Why you are asking? Solda, some amount is it. You have online transaction? Internet banking, irka? Yes, this is my bank account. Transfer. After that, he is nowhere near the data. Forget it. Who says wealth has no relevance? No, it has relevance, but the relevance of wealth is only towards what? Only to bodily comforts. That's it. Then we have the second category. It says Pitrus. Pitrus means what? Emotional. These people value what? Now they become more and more traditional. And it can go to absurdities also. Right? Any pursuit, there's an absurd possibilities also there. Suddenly they will call someone and say, I want to talk to my grandfather. Because the document of the house, we don't know where he has kept it. Right? So they call him, the spirit has to come and tell where the document is. Then they write numbers, alphabets, as though it knows language. He's illiterate fellow. All that he knew is to find out. And then, but suddenly when he becomes spirit, he can read numbers, he can read letters, any language. Talk to all that practices. All that is included in this. From a refined ones to crude practices. We are not talking about the practice one here. We are referring to the result of it is dependent not on the power of the Devata. Remember this. It's nothing to do with the ancestors. It's nothing to do with the power of Indra or Varuna or Agni, any one of those things. It depends upon what? It depends upon the sankalpa of yours. With what you are going to be performed. See? The third one, he says, those who worship the elements. Elements means what? The demigods. In the traditional sense, it is demigods. So we have a particular deity for the, the tree. For this, there's a god. The animal, there's a god. This, there's a god. Each god is there for taking care of all this. Yakshas, Gandharvas, all that, those gods. Most popular one, who? Kubera. Kubera Puja. And I think Kubera Puja, if you do, you will get one of it. And they have Kubera's picture also there. Useless fellows. Mahalakshmi, go to that. Better. What Krishna says is, why go to Mahalakshmi also? Come to me, man. You see that? You can go to Kubera. Slightly better fellow will go to Mahalakshmi. Intelligent fellow will go to Vishnu direct. Smart fellow. Okay. Source. Straight go to the source, man. Mahalakshmi will be massaging your feet. What is your problem? We cannot do that. We worship Kubera is the most important one. I used to see that in Kabalishwaram. That Shanishwaran, that is a separate, Pandam Sandoram for, Shanishwaran. Shanishwaran Samiti had two Shivas. My God, what a devotion, what Shraddha, what, commitment they have towards Shanishwara, vis-a-vis towards Shiva. I've seen, so train those people. I need to go there, I'll fix one person. Right. And then just follow them. Wherever they go, I go behind them. See. And then I get bored. Again, I go to another round. People think, my devotion to this boy. Going round and round, 12 rounds he goes. Shiva temple. I pick up people, and then follow them. It was so interesting to see. Karpakambal suddenly, the fellow sees. Karpakambal is there. And the devotion in his eyes, vis-a-vis the devotion that he has in Shani. Nowhere near. Shani Bhagavan means, so important. Don't stand here, don't stand there, don't any gods. You worship them, what do you get? You get only that much. You worship the Pitrus, you get one result. You worship the Devas, you get another result. You worship me, you get another result. So what is so interesting is the effort to worship all four same. Same effort. Digging is same. One place you dig, you get diamonds. Another place you dig, you get charcoal. You decide. The effort of digging, same. Effort of striving, same. But the result varies. Equal effort, producing different results. Then who decides it? What decides it? Each one believes it is that particular Devata decides it. It is that particular person who decides. No. It's not decided by that. It's not decided by the effort also. Then what is deciding factor? It means what are you striving? Your effort is directed towards what? What is your goal? Your achievement is dependent on the nimitta, the reason, the cause is your sankalpa. Sankalpa produces. Those who worship me come to me. Those who worship the self become the self. Those who worship the elements, this is very orthodox. Slightly, if you want to little modernize it, they say those who worship elements means those who are worshipping the nature. Nature worship. Right? Who is worshipping nature? Scientist. What is he doing? Right. Worshipping Devata means what? Economics. Right. Worshipping Pitrus means what? Culture, arts, all of that. Economics, arts, science, and then Vedanta. What do you study? You get the degree, all of that. That's all he says. whatever the subject you take to study, you get that degree only. You cannot join medical college and come out as an engineer. Medical engineer, sir. Maybe they'll come out with some new subject also like that. Medical engineer. Irka? Oh, I knew this. Oh, medical engineer. Bioengineer. Oh, that's called as bioengineer. How can you become this one? Not possible. That's all he says. The force with which you are keeping that sankalpa, the strength of your sankalpa. Sankalpa, remember this example. Okay. I'm not telling my friend's name. This fellow, actually he did it. He was in love with a girl, his father. And there is some problems and all that. Yeah. Suddenly one day, this fellow decided that I am not going to drink coffee. Next coffee in my life, I will have only after marrying her. She will make coffee and give me. Appadan coffee. Seriously, not joking. He held it. That fellow used to have, I have never seen him having tea in my life. Wherever he goes, he'll have coffee with him. And he will always order double strong coffee. He will order. Drink. Addiction, such addiction he had. Suddenly one day, the fellow decided, I'm not going to have coffee. Right? And he held on to it. Subsequently, he got married to the girl and he had coffee. Can you believe? Amazing fellow. அதுதான் சங்கல்பம். Sankalpa, the strength of Sankalpa. People are laughing. You have no idea. I was really inspired by it. Coffee? I said, no. He just decided, I'm not going to have coffee. He just stopped. I don't know how the man, no withdrawal symptoms. Absolutely no withdrawal symptoms. I don't know. You should have got addicted to coffee to understand what I'm speaking. See, morning, if you are not having coffee, it means you can't believe you can live the day. See, so stop having coffee. He waited for years actually. It's almost happened about 5-6 years or so. He convinced that family. No problem. Otherwise, there's no big differences and all that. Some issue between the families and all that. Resolve it. And he said, I will resolve all those issues and get married to her. Till I get married, I will not have coffee. Sankalpa. This is called a Sankalpa. Don't say, no, Panda, Samasta. That's Sankalpa. I simply saying. People immediately will say, Sankalpa I'm doing every day, sir. With that commitment, they pursue the devas. With that commitment, they pursue Pitrus. That commitment, they pursue nature. That commitment, they pursue me. They get me. So it's nothing to do with what you pursue. You achieve based on your commitment. That commitment is what is referred as Sankalpa. is what is known as Sankalpa here. Achievement is dependent on that. So it is not dependent on the Devas, Devata. It is not dependent on your effort. Effort is also same. Then what is the thing? Why each one achieves different things? Differences is because of what they are striving towards. What is their agenda? What is their sankalpa? What is their commitment to that agenda? All that included in that one word, sankalpa. Right?